In this video, we're going to be looking at Canva's new Magic Animate feature, which was part of their recent Magic Studio release. Magic Animate just lets you instantly, automatically add animation to your entire design. It's going to do all the work for you, and I find this feature can be really helpful when you have a static presentation, especially when it's several pages and you don't want to have to go in individually and add animation to all those pages separately. You can do it all at once. It usually does a pretty good job. It at least gives you a good jumping off point and can definitely save you time. So if you want to learn all about this Magic Animate feature, we're going to go over how it works in this video. Okay, so here I am in Canva and I have a presentation open, and this presentation consists of 10 different slides. And so this is a case where this animate feature, this new Magic Animate feature in Canva might prove really helpful. So let me show you what the presentation looks like now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under the present button up here, and in here you have different options. I'm just going to go to this full screen mode and I'm going to go ahead and click the present button. Okay, so if I use my arrow keys to step through this presentation now, I can see that they have some nicely designed slides, but this particular presentation at present time, it doesn't have any sort of animation to it, okay? So that might be fine, but animation can be a way to just sort of spice things up a little bit, make it a little bit more engaging for your audience. So I do think oftentimes adding a little animation to a presentation or a project or an Instagram story, when you have this sort of static content, it can be helpful and it can make the presentation or the story or whatever type of content it is, it can make it more engaging. So let's look at this Magic Animate feature and how we can really now do this quickly within Canva. Okay, so I've exited presentation view and I'm just back in project view now, and I can select any page by just clicking on it down here, or instead of clicking on an individual element, I could click just somewhere on the page and it's going to select the whole page. And then if I come under this animate option here, then you have this new Magic Animate option at the top. Now you probably already know that you have all these different animate options for pages and elements where you can go through and see a preview. But if we use this Magic Animate option here, we now see that it says it's going to instantly apply perfectly suited animations and transitions. Okay, so we can select individual pages, but what I think I'm going to suggest to you is I feel like the helpful feature about this Magic Animate is that instead of going through and doing page by page, you can do your entire project at once. So what you can do is just come down here and you can go to the first slide and click on it, and then go to the last slide and then use that shift button on your keyboard, hold down shift, click on the last one. Now you can see with this blue rectangle that all of these slides are now selected. Now with all of the slides selected, now I can use this Magic Animate feature and I'm going to be having it animate all the pages, which is what I want to do because that's going to save me time. I'm not going to have to go through each individual page. I'm going to add some animation to this just really quickly using this new Magic Animate feature. So when you click on Magic Animate, it's going to take a minute here. It's going to say things happening behind the scenes, and then it's going to come in here. It's going to give you a recommended style, and if you just hold over this, it's going to start to give you a preview, but you can also go down here and choose your own style, and you get a little bit of a preview of the current slide if you just hover over it, just like all the other animate features work in Canva. So I think I'm going to try this playful because I sort of want this to be a playful feel for this particular presentation. So I'll click on playful, and then when you're ready to do that, it's going to go ahead and it's going to animate your design, and you see up there it said your design has been animated. Now, if you want to preview this whole thing, let's jump into presenter view again, and let's compare this versus the original version, which was just that static version of each page. Let's see how we have changed it now by adding some animation automatically using this Magic Animate feature. So I'll just go in under present here, and again, we're just going to come down and use the present button to jump back into our presentation. Okay, so we're back in presentation mode, and now if I use my arrow keys to start to step through this, we see how some nice little animation has been added to each slide, so it does make things a little bit more engaging for your viewing audience. Now, is this earth-shattering? No, it's not, but it's the little things sometimes that can make a big difference. And rather than going in and having to add all this animation to each page or to each element, we have saved a significant amount of time just by using this Magic Animate feature that's going to do all the work at once. Okay, so I do think this Magic Animate feature in Canva is something that's going to be very helpful when you're creating presentations or other types of content where you just want to spice it up really quickly and make it a little bit more engaging. Now, in this example, we've been adding animation using the Magic Animate feature to a presentation, but of course this would work for other document formats as well. Obviously not for static image like a JPEG, but anything where you have these type of static contents that are part of a larger social media story or something that you're going to turn into sort of a video slideshow. That's where punching up those static elements with this Magic Animate feature could be very helpful. So let's take this here and imagine we wanted to take this and maybe we're going to turn this and use this also in a different format. So maybe it would work well in Instagram Square format and Instagram ad. So I could come up here to this Magic Switch button. Now this is really just where Magic Resize now lives, but if you want to learn all about this Magic Switch feature and what's new under this menu, I'll post a link down below and also a link up above. I'll try to link to that video because I have a video about this on this channel. But let's jump in here right now and we're going to come under social media and just choose this Square Instagram format, and I'll go ahead and hit continue. And what it does is it just is going to take this presentation and it's going to resize it now into this Instagram Square format. So I'll choose copy and resize, and then I can open that new post in a new window. And of course, whenever you do this, you might want to step through and make sure everything's positioned. Maybe this guy could be down here a little bit more. So I'll maybe just reposition things a little bit. So you can come in here. I'm not going to go through too quick and do too much here, but you can see most of it came through and works very well. So it does a good job of converting things over. Again, maybe slide him down a little bit. So make a little adjustments. But then if we go through and we look at this and I hit this play button here, we can see that it already has maintained that animation. So as it transitions from one slide to the next here in this video format, it's maintained the animation that we added using that Magic Animate feature. So I'll go ahead and close out of here. And of course I could come in here and I could select any of these slides, and if I come in and I come in to animate these, we can see it already had these applied, but you could find the Magic Animate feature in here, Magic Animate feature in here as well if you hadn't done it already. But so that would be step one, and then of course you can punch this up in other ways too. So maybe I'll add some audio to this. So I'm just going to come under my elements. We'll go down to the audio menu here, see all, and then I'm going to search for something like playful inside this audio. So I'm going to come in something like playful. And then when you're doing this, anytime you come over and you just hit this play button here, you can get a little preview. Now I don't think you're hearing that because I have my audio not being recorded here. So let me turn that on real quick. Okay, I paused for a second and now I should have my system audio as well as my microphone being recorded. So you should hear now, as I click some of these here, we can get a little preview of the music and sort of go through down here until you find one you like. And I kind of think this one here would maybe match well with this. So once I have one I like, I can just drag it over, add it right to my project. And then also I'll link to the video on this feature as well up above and down below. But there's this beat sync feature in here, which if you just click on this button, it's going to automatically go ahead and you can click sync now, and it's going to attempt to automatically sort of sync the beat of the music to sort of some of your animations and slide transitions. So it's just a quick way to get things looking a little bit better. And then of course you can always preview the whole thing. So I'm just going to hit this whole play button now to see what we have. Okay, so we won't watch the whole thing, and you could come in here and you could decide to drag these slides and make them all a little shorter. So I could come in here and change the timing in between slides. So maybe I only want 3 seconds for each slide, and I could apply that to all the pages. So you can still make adjustments, but you can see what we've done is very quickly using that Magic Animate, you can punch up now presentations, video content that has static images in that video content. You can punch it up very quickly with this Magic Animate feature without having to go slide by slide. And then of course you can add audio, you can do all these other things to take it to the next level. So it's just another way where Canva is really trying to make it easier on you as a content creator to do some of the work for you. Now, are there times where you're really going to want to have more control and step through and animate individual elements on your own with total control? Sure, but a lot of the times this Magic Animate feature will be good enough when you're just trying to punch something up a little bit to make it more engaging for your viewer. So this is the Magic Animate feature in Canva. Make sure you check it out, and you can let me know in the comments below whether you find this feature helpful. And again, if you like this sort of Canva tutorial, feel free to subscribe to this channel because this channel is all about learning Canva. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.